Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Digital Service Squad webinar. We're really excited to be here with you this morning and cover this very relevant and exciting topic of search engine optimization and SEO strategies to drive more website traffic. So this, of course, is brought to you by the Digital Main Street program. We are the Digital Service Squad in the area. And that means that we provide free consultation service and support for our local business community. And we cover all of South Georgian Bay. That is from Wasaga Beach over to Meaford, and then even beyond into all of Grey County as well. And our South Georgian Bay efforts are managed by the Enterprise Center, the Small Business Enterprise Center of South Georgian Bay. And then in Grey County, we're managed by the Grey County Business Enterprise Center, and we're excited to be here. And of course, the Digital Main Street program is made possible by the Ontario government, the Ontario BIA Association, and the Toronto Association of BIAs. That is my spiel about that. Let's get into today's topic. And so specifically what we're talking about, we're going to cover off some basics of sort of on-page SEO, including some strategies of improving those underperforming pages. And we're going to talk about links, an overview of and link building strategies. We're going to talk about improving page rankings, and we're going to share throughout quite a few SEO tools, but I've got a whole slide at the end as well that has some of my favorites that didn't have a place anywhere else, to just stick them at the end to say, check out these very cool SEO tools that can just really help you to analyze your content and make improvements. Oh yeah, by the way, I am joined by our squad here as well. We've got Amy Kells, Rochelle Reynolds is here. Karen is on the call. She's listening in. So thank you for joining us there. And as I said earlier, if you have any questions as we go, feel free to drop them into the Q&A or the chat. We've also got, as I said, our booking calendar link in the chat now. So if you are so inclined, book a consultation. I wanted to put this slide up at the top as well to just say, we really try to make these webinars as sort of broad enough for a general skill level. So we try and cover from the sort of basics to a little bit more advanced, but we can never really kind of, cover everybody's specific needs and skill levels. So it's a great opportunity, though, to reach out to our squad. I can't stress enough, we do provide this service for free, these one-on-one consultations. We can sit down and look at your website, look at your analytics, your search console, get into it with you specifically to make these improvements on your content and answer your questions specifically. So definitely book that consultation. Even if you're not having any trouble, we can, work towards lots of different improvements, whatever your pain point might be. So that being said, we're going to start today talking about on-page SEO. So on-page SEO, of course, refers to things like title tags, meta descriptions, header tags. These are the H2 to H6 header tags. That is a HTML reference, of course, to how your titles are tagged in the back end. Keyword frequency, written content, that is both quality and quantity. So how much written content you have, and quality refers to just the relevance to your keywords, to your audience. quantity and quality, both very important, as well as alt attributes. So alt attributes include image, alt text. This is sort of more, again, in the background, but it is very important for Google understanding what your images are about. And it's also actually really important for people with any visual impairments. That's what it's technically for. If they're having their computer read out content on a website, the alt attributes help to describe what this image is about, or what is in it, essentially. So when we talk about some strategies for improving your SEO, your on-page SEO, titles and descriptions are one of the easiest ways to kind of make that improvement, make that get that click-through rate up. And the click-through rate, of course, is, you know, how many people are clicking through based on the number of impressions that you're getting. And essentially, you know, you might have rank high for a keyword, but no traffic. This is very common. I mean, that's sort of the basis of SEO. That's kind of the starting point, is that, you know, we're showing up in search, but we want to get those clicks. And so just improving titles and descriptions can make a big difference. So the two biggest factors, of course, are the title tag and the meta description. And you want to make your titles and descriptions as enticing as possible. You also don't want them to run off like that. You know, if you're using an SEO plugin, like if you're using a website system like WordPress, there's some great plugins. I've got a mention at the end, of course, but I like one called Rank Math, which will sort of help you, guide you in terms of how you should write those titles and descriptions. You don't want to go too long. You know, they keep your length in check. Make sure you're using appropriate keywords in there as well. And that's going to really help you to get the most out of this, like, very crucial element of titles and descriptions. So what we want to do, again, is, you know, look for opportunity and find keywords that you're on the first page of. And how do we do this, though, is that we can look at tools like Search Console is a really great tool. It's free. And I'm going to talk a lot more about it throughout this webinar, but Search Console is essentially, you know, where we can understand more about how we're ranking with these keywords, because that can often be a very obscure thing. I know we throw that around a lot, your ranking and how you're ranking, but it's essentially right there in your Search Console. It'll show you how many impressions you're getting and how many clicks you're getting for each search term. And what I like to point out to people is, you know, when you open up your Search Console and your performance, is to look at, especially those keywords, what is showing on that list, but then also what's not showing on the list. And that's maybe some opportunity as well. But I mean, so you do want to look for keywords with a low click-through rate. So that's like where you're getting lots of impressions. So you're seeing a high volume of search. And there's a question here. So are impressions and views the same? I mean, in terms of search, yes, impressions are counted like a view, essentially. So it came up in a search. Perhaps view might be a little bit more specific, like someone saw it, but technically it counts as both. So yeah, so I was saying, like, if you're seeing a keyword phrase that is getting a ton of impressions, so people are searching for it, and it's a relevant keyword phrase, of course, that's really important, that you want to get clicks for that, that can be an opportunity. So you can focus in on that keyword phrase. Okay, there's a lot of search happening for this. How can I capitalize on that, improving keywords and performance of my titles and descriptions to try and hopefully convert more of those impressions to clicks. And yes, improving titles and descriptions will hopefully help that as well. So underperforming pages, again, looking at your Search Console data will hopefully guide you in that regard as well, in terms of what's underperforming. What does that constitute? There is a whole section on pages within your Search Console dashboard in your performance section. And you want to add additional relevant internal links within your website to other pages within your website. So these are internal backlinks. Many believe these internal links do influence Google rank, which have been confirmed by various Google staff experts. And I am going to talk about links as well in a broader sense. But again, we want to find those underperforming pages. This is really, key. Like, we want to try to take what we've got and improve it instead of having to, reinvent the wheel and create a whole bunch of new content. It's a lot easier to just improve what we've got. Determine the relevant pages that you'd like to add additional internal links to, targeting your underperforming page. A simple Google trick is, yourdomain.com, topic of the page you want to boost, and add links to pages. When we talk about links, there's, essentially 3 types of links, or like 3 things to consider. We've got backlinks. So those are links that are pointed to your website from other sources, or they can be internal backlinks. So they're pointing to pages within your own site. You're guiding Google sort of around your website with those internal links. And then there's on-page link structure. So this refers to just the way in which we, have that ratio between outbound links and inbound links. And so there's a lot of debate on what that ratio should be. Like, should you have less links exiting your website than they are pointing internally, or vice versa? But essentially, you want a good mix of both. A lot of people are of the mind that you shouldn't be directing people out of your website. But it actually does help, like, to have some external links. When you have one of these plugins like Rank Math or Yoast SEO, when you're writing a blog, one of the things they always suggest is that you have an external link and you have an internal link. This is because, like I said, these are some things that will ultimately help your content in a way that it just kind of guides Google crawlers around the web and around your site more specifically. And then there's readable or friendly links. And this just refers to the how, they don't have a bunch of code in them. They're easily understandable from both a human perspective and a crawler perspective, that, the content is outlined in that link. You understand what it is, where you're going, and it's not hidden or, nefarious in any way. So when it comes to links, one of the biggest problems is having links that go to a page that doesn't exist anymore or cannot be found. So what we want to do is review your list of backlinks and ensure pages they link to are active. There's a bunch of ways that we can review this and find these links. Again, Search Console has a whole section that will outline what's called 404 page not found. You see that icon or that graphic there. That's just a term, 404. I don't know where it came from or exactly what it means, but essentially the 404 refers to content not found. The page is not there anymore. The link is broken, essentially. And why this is important: if your links are broken, you lose page rank authority. And so, yeah, like I said, we can find these broken links in a couple of ways. Search Console is one. I've got another tool linked here. And if you follow us on social media, you'll also see I did a video just the other day about, or last week, about a tool from ahrefs.com, but it's spelled ahrefs.com, for finding broken links within your website. And it's pretty awesome. And I've got the link in this document as well. Right there, backlink checker and broken link checker. So yeah, so backlink checker is a really awesome tool that will just show you who's pointing to your website. So you punch in your URL, your domain, and it'll show you like how many links are out there, where they're coming from, and where they're going specifically on your website. So that's a really good thing to just check up on. Are all of those links to pages that still exist? So if you're changing content on often, maybe you're revising or updating some stuff, then you want to check those backlinks, make sure those are all still working, because it just hurts your page ranking, your authority when people are linking to you and those pages are non-existent anymore. It doesn't look good. So, and this, I mean, a good example, I was checking my site and one of my sites, and I had changed the name of one of my pages. It was one of the main pages on our navigation. I didn't like the name of it originally, so I changed it. And so there were links out there that were pointing to that original name of that page, which when you click on it doesn't exist anymore. So it has to be fixed. And so you can redirect those. And I think I have that in my next slide. But yeah, these three tools, Search Console included, are pretty amazing at really digging through your links, understanding or finding any problems, and then giving you the information to be able to fix those. Unlinked mentions. So this is, I mean, a strategy that, when we talk about links and link building, it's always such a hard thing to do, right? Is to like figure out ways to get links pointing to your website, links just directed to your site. Those are one of the most valuable things that you can do to increase your authority, your relevance, or your importance on the internet, is just having those links out there from important websites to you. And actually, if I go back, one of the cool things about the backlink checker is it scores the website that is sending that link to. So what you want is like, and that's a domain authority, I think they're using. And you want to be cognizant of that. So you want links from websites that have a high rating and high authority. You want those links to your website. So a good example of that is like a government website, for example, has like a high domain authority. It's a well trusted. It's a source of quality and just what's the word I'm looking for? Quality information, but also like most likely true, right? It's an authority figure essentially on a certain topic. So you want those websites to be pointed to you and your website, like more than any other. But if you notice that you're getting a mention on another website, and this might be just through browsing and looking around at things, and if you find that a publisher did not link your website, maybe you wrote an article for someone and they didn't provide a link to your site, good opportunities to just ask them, do some outreach, craft a nice email to the publisher asking if they're able to create the link. If you've got a recent relevant article, even better, something that ties that content together. Because again, that relevance is important. You're not just sending a link for the sake of sending a link, but there's kind of purpose behind it. And you can also use this method for cold outreaches. Competitor dead links is another opportunity there to build some links across the web. So if you're browsing competitor's website, let's say, and you come across a broken link that you may have a relevant article they could link to instead, reach out with something like, hey, I noticed a link to this other site and that post is no longer available. We have something similar over here at our domain. And you may want to swap out that link and it's an approach that is seen as friendly and suggestive and helpful. And the benefit is that you get another link to your website. And these are active, and I clicked on it and it's like, yeah, it's not actually a real site, brokenlink.com. Oh, actually there is something there, but it just says broken link. So next we want to talk about sorry, there's a question here, a couple questions. Let me just oh yeah. So when it comes to link building, Stuart mentioned, yeah, getting links from a site like Collingwood Today, like a trusted media site, is a great place to get links. So yes, definitely reach out to Stuart at Collingwood Today because they are a high domain authority. They've got lots of domain authority and a trusted site there. And then Mary asks, while on your site, when clicking one of those links and it then checks your site. I'm not sure if I fully understand the question.
I think she's referring to the slide back when you look at backlinks that are broken. Go two more back, maybe.
The
next one. Yeah, that one. No, two back. That one. Just exactly how that's, I believe that's what she's asking. Okay.
Oh, right. Sorry. How do these work? Right.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can, I think I had one open. Oh, no, I didn't. But essentially, you put in your domain in so it's a tool at that URL where you just put in your domain, you click check backlinks, and then it'll pull up a report and give you all the information. So you have to just put in your own URL. And actually the broken link checker too, you can both of them, you can use that on competitors' websites, right? So you can look and see like, where your competitor is getting links into. Do they have any broken links? Or, you can, a lot of these tools, you can do some real serious intel on your competitors. I don't know that we talk a lot about that, but it's certainly something that could be done. Cool. So let's talk about ranking. So again, I mean, that term often gets thrown around as well. And it can be sort of obscure, but Google Search Console, again, is a great resource and a tool to determine like what keywords your website is ranking for, how many impressions and clicks you're getting. And then, like I said earlier too, you want to take notice of what keywords are not ranking for as well. Because what it will show you is a list of all the keywords that you're showing up for with impressions and then also clicks. And you'll see the report in highest number of clicks first and down to the lowest number of clicks. And yeah, you want to be really cognizant of what are those terms, how relevant are they to your business, and what's not there that should be there that you want to see. And then, like I said earlier too, what is getting impressions and how can we improve the click-through rate of those top performing ones that are getting lots of impressions, maybe not getting as many clicks. So one way to do that, of course, is to just refresh your content. You can take a look at the pages that are getting a lot of the, maybe getting a lot of impressions, again, not as many clicks. And you can take a look, sometimes you'll start seeing a drop off in those clicks. And you can take a look at updating, refreshing that content, because things change, obviously, right? I mean, blog content is effective for a lot of reasons, but it does age, right? So we want to revisit those and see if we can update them. This is extremely relevant in our industry where things change all the time. Like, I could probably do this SEO webinar once a week and maybe update a few things every week in a way. So take a look at that. You want to look at your page's traffic report, and if you see a dive, it's prime for an update probably. And again, that refers to you could look at your analytics there and see how that's performing. Okay. And then, yeah, so Graham is asking about an indexed versus non-indexed page. So, I mean, an indexed page is just like your regular content. It's everything that you want Google to search, right? Everything. So indexed means that Google is going through it. They're sort of cataloging it and serving it up to people in search. Anything that's not indexed means that it's not being served up in search. So I was just going through this exercise with someone yesterday where at first it was like a big concern because Search Console showed a lot of what we thought were pages that were not being indexed. But when we went through it, it made a lot of sense. There were a lot of redirect URLs, so they were not actual pages. They're just URLs that were being redirected through a site that didn't need to be indexed, should not be indexed. But then also things that shouldn't be indexed are things like, your own login page, for example. You don't want Google serving that up in search, right? There's, if you're running an e-commerce store, there's a lot of like more sort of administrative pages and things related to the functionality of the site that, again, just shouldn't be indexed. So you will see those in your Search Console, for example. And yeah, I always say, like, don't get alarmed by it. There's probably very good reason why they're not indexed. If you do find a page that should be indexed that is not being indexed, then there's a couple ways to fix that. And I think so there's some options on your website end, but then through Search Console, you can, there's like a validate fix button up at the top that can hopefully help get that resolved. So hope that answers that. And then content gaps. So again, you know, looking for noticing topics that your competitors are ranking well for, but you're not addressing on your site. Again, looking at Search Console, what are you not ranking for? What is not showing up on that list? This is an opportunity. Start by plugging the gap, adding content to your site, either by pages or posts form, and then monitor the results. Yeah, search, I mean, SEO is definitely it's a long-term game, and you know, just adding extra content can also help fill those gaps and keep you moving forward in a positive direction. And then finally, we've got pay-per-click campaigns. So this is not everyone thinks about pay-per-click as a SEO strategy. But when you do run campaigns in support of your key pillar content, Google does account for your paid clicks and will factor this traffic towards your organic ranking. And what's interesting too is that like they both help each other. So when we talk about paid advertising, you have an ad rank. They rank your ad, and your content and the quality of your page factors into your ad rank. So the higher the quality of your content, essentially, you know, your SEO helps your ad, and then alternatively, your ad will help your SEO. So it's kind of a great strategy to contribute towards building authority for your content and ultimately improve your ranking. And by the way, the Digital Service Squad can help you to create and manage ads either in Google or Facebook. We're here to help. So book those consults and improve your SEO and ranking. So here's a couple of extra tools that I want to mention and share with you. SE Optimer. So if you had a chance to sit down with us for an SEO consult, you'll know that we really love SE Optimer as a report. So this is a reporting tool that again works the same way as like the link checker and the broken link tool. You just punch in your website URL and it will give you immediate feedback, a score, a rating actually, and action items, things that you can do to improve your SEO. And like I said, this is a starting point for all of our SEO consultations, because we want to know where you're at and what are some of the lowest hanging fruit to start making improvements today. And what's cool about it too, like from an education standpoint, that report, again, like why I like that report specifically is that it's really good at explaining like what are these things and why is it important. So things like we were just looking at one yesterday, and there's something called what's it called? href lang. It's like a weird term, but it's a language tag. When you hit the drop down menu, it'll show you explain like it's just a language tag. And it's important to have this language tag to just let Google know what language your content is written in. And then once you understand what it is, oh, okay, it's something that actually is really not that difficult to implement. And actually, rank math, going to number 2, is again, a WordPress plugin. I really like it. It will actually implement that and many other kind of best practices in the back end of your website without even having to think about it. So that's why one of the main reasons I like rank math. And its main competitor is Yoast SEO. I think probably more people use Yoast. One of the main reasons I like rank math over Yoast is just for the simple fact that the way that rank math scores your page is a numerical value from 1 to 100. So you're trying to increase your score, whereas Yoast will show you with a happy face or a straight mouth or a frowny face. And the only reason I like the numeric value over the emoji method is really just because when you make small incremental changes on rank math, you see that increase in score. Whereas Yoast, you don't see it until you hit that threshold and get the smiley face. And I don't know, I'm more motivated just by that numerical value, I think. Because again, like when you get that smiley face in Yoast, I feel like most people probably feel like, that's it, I'm done. I've achieved the smiley face, but there's probably still a few other things you could do to keep improving. But you don't get that recognition for that improvement. You don't get the reward, I should say. So anyway, rank math, check it out. If you have a WordPress website, it's a very thorough SEO tool. So Google Keyword Planner, also important thing to use, or something you would consider looking at, especially, so it's made for creating ads and looking at what keywords to use in your ad campaign. But a lot of people also use it for, even just suggesting keywords that you might want to start building content around and start trying to rank for, getting ideas of ways that you might just expand your content and get ideas of like, what are other keywords that people are searching for? It seems like a strange thing to have to try and figure out. It should, it seems like it should be very obvious, but it's not always that obvious. And you get some really good ideas from that. Another tool actually that I didn't mention, but is AI, like ChatGPT. A lot of people are starting to use that for, marketing. So marketing suggestions, keyword suggestions. ChatGPT is great for that. What are some blog post ideas for this type of business? And it'll just spit them out and you can kind of run with those. We got a question here. So Graham asks, is there a rank math or Yoast equivalence for Squarespace? I think we did look that up before too. I think Yoast is available for Squarespace. Rochelle or Amy, do you remember if we confirmed that previously? Or I think there is. Someone want to Google it maybe while we'll work on that, but I'm pretty sure there is.
It says Yoast does work with Squarespace.
Oh, sweet. There you go. Mm-hmm. So yeah, check it out. Because yeah, they're basically really helpful in just getting you to sort of hit those check marks of all the things that you should do with your content. Put keywords in your title, use different headings down your content, use keywords throughout it. All these kinds of things are, yeah, just sort of that checklist is really great to have. This is an interesting question. So for a website that's hard coded, what tool can I use that's like rank math? I don't know. I mean, that's a rare question, because I mean, most websites these days are not like HTML written. Is that what you're saying? So the best I would say you could do is use a lot of these tools to just analyze your content from that exterior perspective, and see if you can sort of make those improvements otherwise. I don't know if there's like a way to I don't know if there's an external tool that would be able to like copy paste a blog into and say analyze it from an SEO perspective. I've not had to look for something like that, but there probably is something that exists. Again, AI is getting pretty awesome. You might even ask ChatGPT to like copy paste your blog in and say, you know, rewrite it as a, you know, with an SEO keyword focus of this, and see what it comes up with. I am planning on doing a ChatGPT or not ChatGPT specific, but an AI marketing webinar within our series. I'm still going to add it to the schedule, but certainly something I am looking at doing.
Sorry, Ben, I spoke too soon. I just looked down the list, and it does confirm on Google that it does not, Yoast does not link with Squarespace. So we'll have to look it up, and we'll get back to you about that.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, I mean, moving right along on these tools, again, Search Console, I can't stress that enough. It's a really great tool to have in your toolkit. It's free. What's cool too is it will link into your Google Analytics, so you can get that console data within your analytics dashboard, and yeah, just kind of keeps it all in one place a little bit more, and sort of carries that story across, right? So Search Console, of course, is all the data and information about how people found you online, and what they searched for, and yeah, basically just what they searched for to click on your website. And then analytics can continue that story in terms of what they did when they were on your website. How long did they stay around? Did they buy anything? And this is really important, obviously, because I mean, if you're getting a lot of clicks for an important search term that is not actually converting, or people aren't sticking around, maybe they're bouncing as quickly as possible, then that's a really big red flag as well. You want to look at that content and see, is it relevant enough? Is it what people are expecting? And make some improvements there. And then page speed insights. So I didn't talk about page speed so much, but it is a very more and more important aspect of your SEO, your search engine optimization, to make sure that your page or your website is operating at a effective speed. It's not lagging, it's working as quickly as possible. And page speed insights is a great tool for understanding where your difficulty lies. Oftentimes images are the biggest hold up in terms of the load time. And so just improving the image sizes, reducing those, making them more, optimizing them to be more web friendly is a big improvement in your page speed, or can make a big impact on your page speed. but this will give you tons more info and intel on how well your site is performing. And I would also suggest doing the mobile version as well, because that's, again, more and more relevant, more and more important than ever. And so within PageSpeed, they have an actual mobile specific version of their tool. Any other questions? I know we answered a lot during, but that's about it. I did leave us a bit of time to get into some questions if we have some. But like I said, we try to cover off a broad range of information, especially in SEO. It's a huge never-ending strategy, or there are multiple angles and lots of ways you can look at it. So it can be tough to sort of compress it into a 1-hour webinar. But that's where we say, if we didn't quite hit on something you were interested in, or you were completely lost, don't worry about it. Book that consult with us, and we will gladly sit down one-to-one, look at your site specifically. And Mary says she's going to book an appointment. That's awesome. And we look forward to it. Good question. So do our consultations cover businesses in the Bruce Peninsula? They do not. We cover all of Grey County. There is a digital service squad in Bruce County that I think would maybe cover you. So I can check and we can connect you for sure. And Santiago is asking if Stuart is responsible for managing content on Collingwood Today. We can definitely put you in touch with Stuart. Stu is a friend of the squad, has helped us with some advertising, and yeah, we'd gladly connect you and get you in touch. They're a great publication, have lots of opportunities for marketing and even just like I said, the business listings with a link to your website. They've got some great options there, so we can put you in touch. Or I think, yeah, I mean, you can maybe Stu, if you are still here, jump in the chat, put your contact info there. Yeah, what about Simcoe County? Yeah, so I mean, our squad covers Wasaga Beach area, out to Wasaga Beach and Clearview. Anything further to the east is the Barrie squad. So again, if you're in that area, we can put you in touch with that team, or you can reach out to them. They're connected through the Business Enterprise Center, Business Enterprise Center of Simcoe County, Barrie Small Business Center. That's what it's called. Cool. Oh, and here, dropping Stu's email there in the chat. Figure that couldn't hurt, could it, Stu? Happy to pass it on. And yes, Marlene says, need the Barrie squad. We will make a note to connect you with them. And can, let's see, Amy, can you make a note? It is Marlene, connect with the Barrie squad, and Graham, connect with the Bruce County squad. Just so I don't forget, we don't forget, we'll get that, make those connections happen.
There's also a chat there from Mary. She just put something in there about SEO.
Oh,
I don't know if
okay.
it's a question or just a comment.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so her company name comes up, but her product does not come up in searches, even though I put it everywhere in SEO that I could find. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting problem. I mean, it depends. There's sometimes if the name of the product is maybe more competitive, right? Like your business name usually is hopefully pretty specific. Like there's not many, it's not, or it's pretty unique, let's say. So there's not a lot of search competition for that very unique name. So hopefully, and that's usually like the easiest thing to overcome in search. Like if you know you have a unique business name, and the first thing you can rank for #1 is that name. If your name is maybe too obscure and very competitive, can happen with the product sometimes, where then you get into that area of there's just a lot more competition. It's not as specific. It can be harder to rank. So definitely something that, you know, we could take a look at and see if there's some ways to help improve that. But that, again, you know, that might be an opportunity for some pay-per-click advertising. So usually in an area of like very high competition, that can sometimes be one of the best ways to kind of break through that with some advertising. Yes, Santiago needs to jump off. I think everyone's heading out. We're about at that time. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining us today. Thanks to Amy and Rochelle for being here on the call, and Karen, good, glad to have you here as well. And we will be talking about e-commerce next week, so be sure to register for those upcoming webinars, and we'll see you next time. So thanks again. Bye for now.